Hello my people, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Aisha Narikxa. So today I'm going to be doing makeup on this beautiful soul of ours. As you can see, I've started with her eyebrows and I'm using my spoolie to brush them up. And next I'll be using my eye pencil in the shade 1. It's from Davis. And before I forget, if you haven't subscribed, kindly subscribe and hit the notification button, so just in case I get to upload a new video, you get notified. So the next part, I'm just going to be shading in the eyebrows to fill them in. I'm now tapping my eye pencil going upwards to give it like more of a hair-like structures. To conceal my eyebrows, I'm using the Illegal Pro Concealer in the shade Fawn, and I'm using it on the lower eyebrow. On the upper eyebrow, I'm using the foundation that I'm going to be using on her face. It's from Illegal. I'm using it to conceal the upper eyebrow. And now the concealer that I'd used to conceal her eyebrows, I'm just applying on her eyelid to act as my primer before I apply eyeshadow. And the first eyeshadow I'm going to be using is in dark shade. What I'm doing is just tapping it in first in a circular motion. I'm now going in with a more of like orange shade to act as my transition shade, and I'm still going to be using the Illegal Pro Concealer in the shade Fawn to cut my crease. And as you can see, I'm just using an angled brush to cut that crease. I'm now using a shimmer shade from my inner corner. As I always say, just tap it, don't drag. And I was using like two type of shades. I'm now blending the shades so that they can blend, and now I'm cleaning off the eyeshadows that had fallen. For my primer, I'm using e.l.f. primer, and what I'm doing is just tapping it in so that it can be absorbed by the skin. And for my foundation, I'll be using the Illegal foundation, matte foundation. What I'm doing, I'm just applying small amount because this foundation is full coverage. And what I'm going to do next, I'm going to get my red lippy to apply underneath her eyes. Now I'm getting my damp beauty blender to blend it in, and after that I'm going to be blending in the foundation. What to do, just tap. As I always say, just tap. If you're using a beauty blender, just tap it in. You don't want to drag, don't want to be having patches. Never forget your neck. We don't want to be having two shades. Apply your foundation also on your neck. I'm still using the same lippy to act as my blush, and I'm also going to use a beauty blender to just blend it in. To highlight my face, I'm still going to be using the Illegal Pro Concealer in the shade Fawn. And before I forget, the products that I've used, I'm going to put them on my description, so guys, don't worry. If you want to see the products that I use, just go down to my description. I'm using the same beauty blender to blend them in. So to set her face, I used a Banana Dreams setting powder from W7. I'm applying the setting powder only on the areas that I had highlighted. To blend those products, you can either use your beauty blender or a brush, but for my case I prefer using a beauty blender rather than a brush. I went in with a Nika contour palette. It's a duo contour palette. Yeah, I went in with a darker shade to contour her face plus her jaws. Plus, I also used it to contour her the bridge of her nose. I'm now trying to blend it so that we do not have the harsh lines. For my compact powder, I use the powder from LA Girl Cosmetics. So the brush that I use is not for applying compact powder, it's for applying foundation. But the fact that I had forgotten like for my powder brush, I just had to improvise and use this. I used one of the shimmer shades from the palette that I was using to act as my bronzer, and now I'm just applying on the bridge of her nose. And make sure you just blend it so that it doesn't look it's harsh. And what I used to blend, I used my finger. Yeah. I'm using the Davis pencil to act as my lip liner. It's in the shade 3, it's the black shade. For her lippy, I decided to use a peachy lippy because I wanted something simple, something neutral, not like too much. Yeah, so we had to go with that shade. To blend the two shades, I used a thinner brush so that I can blend the two to look more of like an ombre. I now went in with a lip gloss because she didn't want it to be more matte, she wanted it to be glossy, and what if the client says so, it's so. She was so happy with how it turned out. So the next part, I was just applying her lashes. She wanted more of like a dramatic lashes, not simple ones, and I used a duo lash glue, the blue one. I'm just applying the same eyeshadow on our lower line with another brush which is tinier so that it can fit down there. So guys, here's a beautiful soul before the makeup, and here is the transformation. What do you think about the transformation? Do you love it? If you love it, kindly comment down below. And guys, before I forget, if you haven't subscribed, kindly subscribe and hit the notification button, so just in case I get to upload a new video, you get notified. She was so feeling herself.